What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. My name's Tim Williams. We're here to break down tonight's 8-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you love baseball, you love DFS, you love statistics, you love all that good stuff, you're in the right spot. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. With a lot of good information to talk about in this slate. So let's get started here. We have the Yankees taking on the Blue Jays. Yankees favorited on the road, 8.5 over under. You have Cole taking on Stripling. Cole 10.5K, one of the aces on this slate. I know there's a lot of controversy with the sticky stuff, the spider tack and all that. He actually pitched a very good game last time out, so I can understand why you would want to be hesitant. The matchup isn't great either. 36.7% strikeout rate, which is excellent. He's showing elite control. He looks good. Definitely might have some shares of him today. Definitely risky. Blue Jays, tough lineup. Stripling on the other side, 6.1K, 23.9% strikeout rate, which isn't bad. You know, the Yankees do have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup. At times they struggle. Stripling is very hittable. He has reverse splits. He's worst against right-handed batters, 42.9% fly ball rate. I don't think I'm going to go all in on the Yankees here, but there's a couple guys that kind of stand out to me. Judge and Stanton, the prices are kind of high. You're kind of hoping for that home run upside. DJ's not a bad guy to round out some sort of mini stack. There's a lot of aces on this slate, so it's going to be hard to pay up for some of these bats. So Yankees could be a complete fade. We'll see. Yankees tend to be home run or bust. I can see a lot of guys in massive GPPs playing Stripling because of that reason. So it's kind of an interesting matchup here. And then on the other side with the Blue Jays, Semien at 4.9 takes a little bit of a price discount. You know, the bats always, has that power. Vlad, Bichette, you know, they're also kind of pricey. It's a tough matchup against Cole. He can give up the occasional home run, though. It's a tough spot. I don't think I can full stack either of these teams, but those three have upside. Next, we have the Cubs Mets. Mets home favorites here, 6.5 over under. This is going to be an interesting game. So keep an eye out. Stock taking on DeGrom. Stock 4K, kind of called up for this one. Some sort of like journeyman through the minors. It's going to be a bullpen game for sure. And typically I don't like to roster opponents against the bullpen games because teams can kind of match up as they please. But Alec Mills pitched yesterday, started. So he went like 4+ innings. He pitched yesterday. He is typically used 24% of the time out of the bullpen this season. So taking him out of the picture, it kind of opens up, it kind of, for me, opens up a lot for the Mets. I really do like the Mets on this one. When you factor in that Mills is probably not going to pitch today. And then on the Mets side, DeGrom, 11K. The dude is just elite. What he's doing is unreal. The main thing for this one is how far can he go? I think he can go as 5-6 innings. He can put up plus 30 points here, 46.2% strikeout rate. It's insane. Would love to marry this dude if I could. Lindor, Alonso, the two up top. Lindor I still think is a little bit too cheap. He's starting to come around a little bit. Villar at the leadoff position, 4.3. Not a bad option. Smith, the price is fair. I don't mind McKinney at 3.2. He has some power upside. I don't even mind getting to Pilar. We're going to have DeGrom hitting in today's game. He tends to turn things over quickly. So I really think this Mets lineup has a good chance to put up some runs. Next, we have the Orioles, Indians. Indians favorited here, 7.5 over under. You have Aiken taking on Seville. Aiken, 5.9K for the Orioles. I don't think he's going to go the distance. He gives up a lot of fly balls, about 42% of the time, just under 20% strikeout rate. I'm just not interested. And then on the other side, Seville, 8.9K. Not a bad matchup against the Orioles. The strikeout rate isn't really quite there. Especially for someone who's about 9K, 20%, no thanks. He does get a lot of ground balls, about 48% of the time. Okay at limiting the fly balls here, 33% of the time. Gives up a ton of hard contact. In case, he doesn't go the distance, bullpen for the Indians has been pretty good, but they don't strike a lot of guys out. As a collective whole, the bullpen strikes out guys 16% of the time. Whitgren takes the bulk of the bullpen load. He did pitch an inning yesterday. I think you'll see him again today. But just in case, I don't mind some of these Orioles bats. And for that reason being is, again, they're just way too cheap. We're going to need to find some salary savings in this particular slate. Mullins at 3.5K is just complete disrespect. He's been amazing, should be an all-star this year. Santander, 2.9K, has upside. Stewart, Galvis, Hayes. If you need one or two of those guys just to kind of round out your lineup, I think they're very much viable here. And then on the Indian side, Ramirez always in play here, almost kind of boom or bust. 6K. I don't think I'm going to pay for that. Ahmed Rosario had a great game yesterday at 3.8. I just probably going to just fade the Indians on this one with all the other bats on the slate. Next, we have the Red Sox Braves. Braves favored it at home, 9 over under. You have Richards taking on Anderson. Richards, 6.6K. Pretty cheap price for him. Tough matchup against the Braves here. Richards hasn't been good this year. 19.7% strikeout rate. Not great, but you're not paying for it. 11% walk rate, though. So that's a little bit too risky for me. I don't mind guys having high walk rates if they have elite strikeout stuff. Richards does not have that. He does get ground balls. He really does a good job at limiting fly balls, gives up a ton of hard contact. He really is just going to have to pitch perfect or try to go 6 innings, 1 or 2 runs, which he can do. But it's just a really tough matchup. Anderson on the other side, 7.5K. The strikeouts are okay, 25.1%. You're not paying a ton for Anderson. I don't mind him in the spot. It's a really tough matchup against the Red Sox. He's definitely in the conversation, right? Maybe not your first or second or third choice even, but 9.5% walk rate, which isn't great. He's getting a ton of ground balls, about 57% of the time. Really doing a good job at limiting fly balls, 22.9%. That's extremely low. He is pitching well to both sides of the plate. That being said, I don't have too much interest in the Red Sox as a stack. Yesterday, they really did go off. Some of the winning, GPP lineups had a lot of Red Sox in it. I'm only interested in guys that can kind of save me some salary. So Verdugo really fits that bill. 3.8K, had a huge game yesterday. Martinez, really too cheap. He should be $1,000 more. So mainly just interested in those two guys because of price. And then on the other side, Braves, I think they're very much in play. Richards isn't a terrible pitcher, but he isn't great either. Freeman at 5.1 is probably my favorite bat. Acuna 5.9. Albies has been kind of disappointing, but he's in the picture. Riley, a little pricey, but I don't mind rounding something off with Almonte. He did well for me yesterday. We had another positive in the Green Day, and one of those guys, Almonte, did a lot for me. 2.3K. You're not paying a lot for him, so somewhat interested there. Next, we have the Rangers, Astros, 9 over under here. Astros are favorited at home. Lyles taking on Greinke. Let's talk about Lyles, 5.4K. No, thank you. Astros are one of the best teams in baseball. They are dead last in strikeouts. He's just bad. He's a reverse splits guy. He's especially bad against right-handed batters. And then on the other side, Greinke, 7.4K. The price is dropping on him. Rangers have a lot of strikeouts in that lineup. Greinke hasn't been striking a lot of guys out, though, in general, 18.1% of the time. He does pitch a lot of hard contact, 40.4% of the time to right-handed batters. He actually has been excellent against lefties, and the Rangers have a ton of lefties in their lineup, but really, really struggling against the right-handed bats. That being said, I think Greinke might pitch okay. I'm not going to really go out of my way to roster him in my lineups, but Garcia, I'm interested in at 4.8K on the Rangers side, right-handed bat, a lot of power. I don't mind him as a one-off. I don't think I'm necessarily going to get to like Kiner Falefa leading off or anything like that, but Garcia very much in play. And then on the other side, Altuve, 5.6K. Bregman, a little disappointing yesterday, but he's very much in the picture. Gurriel, he's, I think top 5 and, average in the AL. Correa, I don't mind any of those right-handed bats. And then we talk about Brantley, 3.9K. He's been hitting the ball very well. He just doesn't strike out a lot. Lyles doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. So he's in the picture. Tucker, Alvarez hit guys very well. Tucker's price is slightly coming up, but he is very much worth that price tag. So Astros are probably maybe the top stack on this particular slate. I really like them a lot. Next, we have the Diamondbacks Giants, 8 over under. Giants favorited here at home. Kelly taking on DeSclafani. Kelly 7.2K at times has been okay, right? 21.2% strikeout rate. That isn't sexy. He kind of has reverse splits, worse against righties. 31.6% fly ball rate, which is fine. 45% ground ball rate. He's just going to have to kind of excel and be kind of perfect. The Giants are a team that can really hit the ball. And then on the other side, Discalfani, 7K, not bad. He at times has shown a lot of brilliance. We've seen his ceiling top out at like 40 fantasy points, 22.1% strikeout rate, 49% ground ball rate, really good at limiting the fly balls somewhat, 34%. Does give up a lot of hard contact to left-handed batters, about 44.3% of the time. So I really like the lefties on the Diamondbacks. If I'm going there, they are going to throw a lot of lefties at him. They have a lot of switch hitters. I don't mind Rojas, 3.9K leading off. Marte, it's kind of pricey, but very much in the picture there. Smith, kind of just a punt, taking a flyer there at 3-3. And then the one guy I don't mind getting to, Peralta, he struggled at times, 2.5K. You're not paying a lot for him. He has upside. He is a left-handed bat. So I like him in the spot here. And then on the other side for the Giants, I think they're always in the conversation. I think they're constantly under-owned. They're kind of priced just about right. Crawford sticks out to me a bit, 4.1K. I don't mind that. Belt had a huge game yesterday. He's at 4.6, but I don't mind getting to the Giants. It's going to be hard to kind of full stack. So maybe, a mini stack here or there, or maybe a one-off, definitely in play. Next, we have the Phillies Dodgers, 7 over under here. Dodgers are favorited at home. You have Wheeler taking on Kershaw. Two of the, one best pitchers on the slate for sure. Wheeler 9.6K. I love him here a lot. 32.5% strikeout rate. The control has been excellent. 48% ground ball rate, really doing a good job keeping the fly balls in. He's just consistently hitting his spots. The last 4 games have been insane for him. I know he's facing the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, but he just looks so good right now. I don't mind even pairing both of these pitchers up. I don't know if a lot of people are really going to do that, especially with DeGrom on the slate. Kershaw 10K. The strikeouts near 30% right there. He's getting a ton of ground balls about 50% of the time, which is great. 31.9% fly ball rate. The one thing I love about Kershaw here is he's taking on a Phillies team that is probably not going to have Bryce Harper and is not going to have Gene Segura. So and guys like Hoskins have been really, really cold. So I don't mind McCutchen as a one-off, 3.4K. He's been hitting the ball very well, but probably just honestly not going to get to any bats on the slate, even on the Dodgers side. So really, really love the pitching matchup here. Don't overthink that. Next and final game here, Twins, Mariners, 8.5 over under. Twins favorited here. You have Ober taking on Sheffield. Ober 4.6K. I'm not going to get there. I don't know how far he's really going to get into this game. He looked okay versus the Astros, but he gave up a lot of hits. Struggles versus left-handed batters, I should say, in a very small sample size. And then Sheffield on the other side, he's kind of a pitcher that I love to attack. Pitches to contact, but very poorly. 9% walk rate. Bats on both sides are in play here. Twins, I think there's a lot of bias against the Twins. At times, they really do not produce in spots where they really should. They're in the conversation again today. Donaldson, Cruz, both at 5K. I don't mind it. I don't know if I'm going to get there. But Jeffers, I don't mind if he's starting at catcher, 2.8K, just a punt play with some home run upside. And then Larnach, not a bad idea too, 3.2K. I think he's going to go under owned. People might not like the lefty, but in a very small sample size, he is hitting lefties fairly well. And then on the other side, Mariners love the lefties here. Seager, 3.4K. I know he hasn't been hitting the ball very well, but he does put the ball in play. I like him here a lot. Fraley, 3.7K, been kind of on a roll, kind of consistently getting, 10 fantasy points here and there. Bowers has been kind of hot as well, 2.7K. These are cheap bats that we're going to need to roster some of these aces on the slate. And then France, I don't mind him. He's a righty. I know 2.8K, but he had a huge game yesterday. He has power upside. I really don't mind him here. I had him on a bunch of my teams yesterday, and he got me in the green. So I don't mind going back to France here at all. So that'll do it. My name's Tim Williams. Thank you for watching. Hope this video helps you out. Best of luck today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Yeah, good luck.